Now, when I was 2 years old, I moved to Greenland with my parents and my sister, and we lived there for 7 years. I remember Greenland as a very tough environment, not green at all. I actually believe that the word Greenland is the first example of greenwashing in this world. Now, 7 years in Greenland taught me that our lives largely depends on the forces of nature. This time, I only stayed for 7 days, but enough to see the big changes in nature. Normally, the temperature in northeast Greenland in April is around minus 20 degrees Celsius, but that week, we had days where the temperature was above the freezing point. You could almost hear the ice melting in April. So as I came back, I studied how much sea levels would rise if all the ice in Greenland would melt. 6 to 7 meters. And knowing is important because when we know, we can do something. By now, I think we all kind of know. So the questions are, what are we choosing and what are we doing? If we want to avoid a climate disaster, we need much more radical leadership. Now, some companies have chosen, actually many companies have chosen to commit to net zero emissions by 2030 or 2040, which is great news, but the progress is far too slow. CO2 emissions are still rising. When it comes to choosing, we need more courage. Our choices need to be based on what is necessary, not what seems possible right now. If we choose to pursue impossible big dreams, we spark the imagination of people, and the impossible becomes possible. And when it comes to doing, we need much more collaboration. At a time when some people talk about deglobalization, we need more global collaboration around sustainable technologies than ever before, not less. It reminds me of the time in my youth when I played the trumpet in a symphony orchestra. Now, if you want to change the music of a symphony orchestra, it really doesn't make sense to ask the trumpets to play a different tune or the violin. Northvolt was created like that. The founders had the courage to reimagine a zero-carbon value chain for batteries based on recycling. And as a new instrument, they invented a way to take back the raw materials and used batteries and use them again and again and again. We need to have the courage to orchestrate the reinvention of the entire value chain end to end, and we need to have massive collaboration to get it done in time. At Northvolt, we have an order book of $55 billion of green batteries, an 8-year-old company. And Siemens is achieving the highest growth rate since 20 years because we're decarbonizing industrial and urban infrastructures in close collaboration with our partners. And that is what the TED Future Forum is all about. It's a growing community of companies whose leaders have the courage to reinvent for a sustainable future and to share their stories, to inspire others to do the same. We invite you to join us. We invite you to play your beautiful instrument in a symphony orchestra with some of the most courageous leaders in the world.